All right, well, what is going on, everybody? We are back here for the season 7 award show, and I'm joined by some lovely friends. But before I introduce my lovely friends, we got a couple of shout outs here for some resubscriptions. We got it's JP or JPH coming back for 6 months, Jtron for 6 months, and also Squirrel coming through for 22 months, who's also joining with us. So I guess I might as well start with the three-time runner-up, Squirrel. Squirrel, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. It's been a while since I've been in the booth, so I'm excited to be here with the boys.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, and he's looking good. We love our boy Squirrel. Good to have him back here. He may not be able to join us during the week, but he's here on a Sunday night to bless us with his presence. So much love to him. We're also joined by the one and only, the four-time reigning play-by-play commentator of the season, Psychonautic. He's in the booth. Psycho, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, my man?
I'm doing all right. I'm ready to get some awards going. We got a lot of cool things to talk about. I know everyone's excited to see, how things went last season, and we'll definitely talk about them. So I'm excited for sure. And last but not least, we got, oh, not really a newbie in the booth, but we've got the back-to-back GM of the season. Dan the man is in the booth here, looking to see if he can get that three-peat for, like he did for Blizzard. He got the three-peat for Blizzard, but will he get the three-peat for GM of the season? We'll have to find out tonight. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing pretty good, and I'm ready to give out some awards for tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Good to have you here. And why don't we do that? First, before we really get things going, though, a couple of shout outs to our awards team. We had some great people working on the award show. We couldn't have done this award show without them. We had to move things around a little bit to accommodate. They put in a lot of work, which you guys will see through the videos, through the graphics, etc. So shout out to them, Critter, Glaze, Isaac, Squirrel, and management for helping out with the videos and graphics for tonight's award show. So much love to you. A little clap all around there for all the people helping us out. We appreciate you guys. And yeah, so season seven, we got some awards. It's been a little bit since we've been back. Normally we do this right at the end of the season, but now we pushed it back a little bit so we can get everything done. So season seven, we gotta think back a little. We gotta rewind. I know everyone's ramping up into season eight, but we gotta rewind a little bit back to season seven, where guys, we had our biggest season ever, $1,500 prize pool. We had 16 teams in all leagues. Squirrel, I want to throw it to you to talk briefly about that. I mean, 16 teams in all leagues. I mean, that was a first for Nemesis and the biggest prize pool ever, with the biggest season ever. I mean, season seven would just ramp things up.
Hey, Nemesis is dying, Rocker Man. Like, haven't you heard Nemesis?
That
Nemesis is dying, but no. In all actuality, for us to go from having the biggest season where we ended with 500 players and we get to recognize some of those people tonight is super exciting. Especially since we're flowing into, uh, in terms of teams wise and league wise, our new biggest season ever with the addition of the provisional league. So. Just thank you everyone for the support throughout the season, and thank you to all the staff teams that we have working behind the scenes. Without y'all, this definitely couldn't be possible. And y'all are what makes Nemesis great. And it's nights like tonight that help us give back to the community.
Yeah, definitely. And the one thing about these award shows is like we love to give awards to everybody, but that would kind of take away from it. I mean, obviously we got a lot of great people in here, but we can only give out awards to so many. So hopefully we can do some justice. We've got a bunch of nominees, a bunch of awards, a few honorable mentions in most categories. So we will talk about that. And quick before I get things started, one more subscription shout out. Shout out to Speed Demon coming back for he is over a year old. Congratulations to him. And yeah, why don't we get this going here? Why don't we get into it? With the underdog of the season, we've got some nominees. So this underdog of the season is based on a team. So this is not a player or players. This teams that were seen as an underdog in season seven in one way or the other. So let's announce the nominees here for underdog of the season. We've got three of them here. We have Distortion. We have from the Rival League. We have Gladiators from the Prospect League, and we have Ignite from the Novice League. So those are our three nominees. Honorable mentions. Shout out to Minotaurs and our rival for honorable mentions. But Distortion, Gladiators, and Ignite are the three teams here. So Let's talk briefly about these teams before we decide who's winning this one. Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about Distortion on this one?
Distortion was overall under the radar for the most part, but at the beginning of the season, they were up there in the numbers with Hydra, and as we know, Hydra eventually won the championship. Distortion, they didn't have the best part of the middle season. They did struggle, and then it kind of slowed them down a little bit, and then they eventually made it to the playoffs. And as soon as they got there, they made it all the way to the grand finals, and eventually losing to that well-known Hydra roster.
Yeah, they definitely did have some ups and some downs there for sure. But yeah, at the end of the season, 7 seed though, I believe, if I recall correctly, the lowest rival seed to ever make the grand finals. So they were putting out there. It was definitely the season of the underdog for sure. There were a lot of underdogs, a lot of 7 seeds. I mean, we had Distortion, Bishops, Minotaurs. I mean, we have Ignite who we'll talk about. There are a lot of hundreds there. So that's Distortion for you. Psycho, why don't you tell us a bit about the Gladiators? I know you know a little bit about the Gladiators, maybe just a little bit, being on the team and all.
Being on the team, right. Didn't play most of the games, but I did get in some there. But we pretty much in the first half of the season, we were just lacking big time. We were losing game fives every single game. I think at midway through the season, we only had like 2 or 3 actual series wins. But after that, Speed Demon, he did some trading. He did some high risk, some high gambling trading, and he landed himself with Yukio and Mary, and they turned the second half of the season around. Ended up clinching the 4th seed overall in the is it the East Conference, I think that War Room's in. I'm drawing a blank right now.
West,
But
I believe.
Oh, West. Okay, see, it's been too long. I've been away on off season.
Yeah.
But they ended up losing in semifinals, but they were able to also get the perfect sweep on the Warhawks in the first round of the playoffs. So might have made history there. Have we confirmed that, Austin?
I did not get to confirm that, but I am Psycho on a scale of 1 to 100. I'm like a 95% certain it was the first perfect sweep in playoff history. So I will confirm that eventually, but I'm fairly certain. So yeah, Gladiators, they're definitely an underdog. And last but not least, we have Ignite. Squirrel, I'm gonna throw it to you for Ignite here. They made one of the most historical comebacks we've ever seen. Obviously, Gladiators did too with that run. What I think they were like 2-7 or 2-9 or 3-9 or something like that. They pulled all the way back. Ignite also had to come back from the brink at the end of the season.
Yeah, Ignite was pretty bad all season long. I think at one point they were 1 game away from elimination. They were sitting there at the bottom, and then I don't know what happened. All I know is that Rooney ended up going from Dan's org to Smooth's org, and Rooney something just clicked with that man, and he went off. He popped off towards the end of that season. He said, "I am not letting us get eliminated." So he worked hard. As a team, they stepped it up and they made the play-ins as the 10th seed. They won both their play-in games, so they go into the playoffs as the 8th seed in the playoff bracket. And what do you know? They end up coming out on top, Game 7 against a dominant Whelps team. And that if that's not an underdog story, then I don't know what is.
Definitely some underdog potential. I know Dan's a little bit upset about Rooney. Rest in peace, but it happens sometimes. But everyone makes some bad trades eventually, Dan. Yeah, that's how it goes. But so that being said, we got Distortion, we got Gladiators, we got Ignite, and the winner for underdog of the season, it's going to go to Ignite here, making that huge run. I believe we have a video to play for Ignite as the winner, so why don't we take a look at that winner video?
As Rooney takes it out of his own corner. Rooney putting all of his boost into it, but the ball gets sent away from him. Charles gonna let that one touch. So he's gonna let this go into an overtime in game number 3 here, Rocker Man. And this is tense.
This is tense. The postseason hopes on the line is, oh my goodness, one pop shot. Be careful here. It's going back towards his net. But they're going to make a touch. But Rooney looking for the dagger. It's going to go in. Rooney ends the season of acceleration and Ignite will sweep their way to Saturday night.
Pull out your brooms, ladies and gentlemen. Ignite getting the sweep on Acceleration, sending them home, ending their season. And now Ignite's going to move forward. Saturday night, they're going to be playing against the Fusion for the 8th seed in the playoff tournament. Congratulations to Ignite. Oh, we got Rocker Man in here with us?
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, let's go, Rocker Dad.
Well, I was just coming in so unfortunately Diffusion is unable to field their rosters, so Ignite is going to get the forfeit a win. Unfortunately.
If you've been paying attention to the Novice League, then you'll know you should have known that Ignite was coming for something. And even though they were only in the play-ins, I knew that they were going to have a deep playoff run. And it seems like that is exactly what's going to happen here, as the ball just needs to touch the ground at this point for Ignite to have swept. But Charles going to get one for the road and take that game 4 win for Ignite. It's sweeping the Pawns and sending them home, ending their season. What a way to break into the playoffs.
And there was a disconnect coming through. LNR Vita loses connection, but Ignite doesn't even care. They're so confident even in the 2v3. They don't care enough to call it a disconnect. They're just going to win it with 2 players on the field. Ignite taking this one, not to toot my own horn, but in 4-2 fashion, a convincing win, and Spitfires going home, not going to get the back-to-back chip for Jorbage.
Okay, apparently we could talk in between, which is good.
Okay, I was like, oh, I don't want to say anything.
One of the best teams in Novice.
And what a way this Ignite team has come, Puggles, all the way from the 10th seed, all the way. They had to win 6 games just to make the play-ins. The highest ever seed for a Nemesis champion. How far has this Ignite team come? And to win it all, Jeff Masters going to get back with 3 seconds left. That is all she wrote. I am calling game now. Ignite are your Season 7 Novice League champions.
Right, so there you have it. That is Ignite taking the underdog of the season. Great video coming out there. A lot longer than we've had for most videos. So, but it was a good one nonetheless. That kind of showed you their entire run throughout the play-in tournament and the playoffs. So congratulations to Ignite, underdog of the season there on that one. So much love to them, and let's keep moving on here, as we got another award to give out. We got to head over and talk about most improved player of the season. So this one for a second award of the night here. We've had this one in recent seasons, but this is a player that has improved from season 6 to season 7. So someone that we saw play in season 6, they made a huge step forward in season 7, and we want to recognize them here. So let's talk quickly about the nominees here on this one. So we have first nominee is going to go to Dank from the Spartans there, who made a good performance for his team throughout the season. We got Ray from the Kings on the board there. He had an excellent breakout season there. Last but not least, we have Bravo, who was, I believe, he was on the Bananas. Am I right about that, Squirrel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he was on the Bananas there. So we got Dank, Ray from the Kings, Bravo on the Bananas for our nominees. Honorable mentions out there and Zap, but we got Dank, Ray, Bravo. Let's talk about them quickly here. Maybe Squirrel, you can give us a run through on all 3 of these players quick, what we have written down.
Yeah, so Dank 2 seasons ago played with you, Austin, in the rival league with you, Larry, Dank, and that roster didn't hit the peak that it could have, and for the most part, he kind of rode the bench as a Titan player last season, and this season he stepped up on that Spartans roster. He was a key component in the success of that team, especially for his MMR being lower than most others. He definitely made a big impact. And then Ray, he was a 700-pound meme for a long time in the rival league, but Bubbly believed in him. Bubbly built around him, and even after Chrissy, a very talented player, got banned, Ray still stepped up, and he earned the respect of a lot of these rival league players, and the Kings as a whole did as well. And then Bravo, Sans has talked about it. Bravo, not the greatest player in the history of Titan League, but he came to the Bananas, and with the right group of people, Bravo was able to pop off. And what a lot of people don't know is he had shoulder surgery at the early part of the season, and that can completely hinder your ability to game. But he didn't let that stop him, as he's had probably the best season that he's had in Nemesis.
Wow, that's even more impressive knowing that from Bravo. And yeah, shout out to him, shout out to Ray Ray and Dank also making some good performances. And yeah, I mean, all three of these guys, as you'll see with a lot of these nominees, all three of them very well deserving. Only one can win, and the winner for most improved player from season 6 to season 7 is gonna go to Dank from the Spartans. Let's take a look at his winner video. Oh, you didn't? Cream, my good. Well, all right.
Unfortunate.
Apparently, we don't have a video for that, so I apologize for the delay on that. But apparently, no winner video for Dank, but Dank won, so there's that. I mean, look at the improvement we saw there firsthand. Nothing, but all jokes aside, Dank did definitely improve from last season to this season. I mean, he's improved a lot since he's gotten to Nemesis, and I mean, on Spartans, he was one of those players that Squirrel, you kind of feared in Titan that sometimes you're like, hey, that's Dank. Like Dank, he can do some things now. He can hit those slippery sets. He can, be a menace. He can score, and he definitely showed us that this season.
Yeah, absolutely, and he was the X factor in a way. Like if Dink's playing well, the Spartans are winning, and there was no doubt about that.
Yeah, for sure. So congratulations to Dink on that one. We're gonna move right along then to our next one, which hopefully we have a video for at the end. Well, Cream will hopefully confirm for us, but we do, so which is good. So that's good. But we have another award, which is our Rookie of the Season award here on this one, where we talked about our rookies. It's something again that we added relatively recent, but Rookie of the Season. So this is for the newcomers. We have the most improved player from season 6, season 7. These are ones for the new people who first came out in season 7 to play and really kind of showed everyone what's going on here. So we got some great nominees on the board for Rookie of the Season. So let's go down the list. So first up, from the Chimeras, we have iTrash, who stepped up big. His team didn't quite get the end performance, but he was a big reason why the Chimeras were even able to be in that position. We also have Jeff Masters from the Whelps there, who ended up making that Novice League Grand Finals run there. So Jeff Masters, a nominee for the Whelps. And last but not least, we have Rooney from Ignite there. Again, Ignite winning that novice champion from Underdog of the Season. He's also a rookie there. So iTrash, Jeff, and Rooney all able to get a nominee. Psycho, I'm gonna throw it to you. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about these players. Maybe Psycho's muted. Psycho's muted.
Maybe not.
We'll have to try it again.
Oh
run it
my
back.
goodness.
Run it back. Run it back.
Real quick. Run it back. And now my computer's doing all sorts of stuff. Okay, right. iTrash led Chimeras to a pretty impressive season in Rival, which was highly competitive this season. Like you said, they sort of fell short there at the end, but he still did a lot of really good stuff this season. Jeff Masters came, in my opinion, kind of out of nowhere. He wasn't really known for high level of mechanics, so it was kind of, those players are rare in my opinion when you see someone who steps onto the pitch and makes such a huge impact, even though they're not doing flip resets, they're not doing sealing shots and things like that. And then Rooney, the exact opposite, arguably the most mechanical player in Novice. came onto Ignite, pulled his weight plus more, and hit some absolute banger clips that Novice had never seen the likes of before.
Yeah, definitely. Those are some, I mean, really solid contenders. And this one is always difficult because every season it seems like we have so many rookies. I got to mention the honorable mentions here. We got Icarus from Frost. We got Demon from the Raptors. One Tap Steph from the Bananas. Jtron from the Minotaurs. I mean, literally, with this award, Dan, you could almost flip a coin here and say, hey, or roll a die and say, hey, one of these guys is a nominee. They win. I mean, it's so hard to choose between all the new people that come into Nemesis each season.
Right, and I think a way to gauge that as well is how far did their team make it into the playoffs. That's a really good gauge because under that pressure, also in a playoff, you're on stream against, other good competitors and how many people are watching you. So I think it truly depends on how far you go into the playoffs, and that's where the dice rule starts to become irrelevant. Like it's no longer a thing.
That's a very fair shout there, and like I said, we can only pick one here, and obviously some great honorable mentions as well. But the winner for Rookie of the Season is going to go to Rooney from Ignite there, the Mechanical Demon. Let's take a look at his video. Hopefully this one will play. Fingers crossed. Come on.
No, it certainly
Maybe.
doesn't, though. Pond's got plenty of time. Rooney with the flip reset. Musty double touch. No way. What?
Honestly, off the sidewall, gets one, flips it off the back, and just nails it in right over top of Threat. Solid shot. Something you don't see in Novice.
All right, there you have it. Rookie of the Season going to Rooney. We saw the clip cycle. You talked about being a mechanical demon. I mean, we just saw what that man can do. I mean, him taking his team, all the way to the grand finals and winning it, lowest seed ever, winning underdog of the season, winning Rookie of the Season. He's got some hardware under his belt there.
Yeah, certainly, and he's back on the draft pool. That's craziness to me. If he doesn't go first or second pick, that's insanity.
Yeah, because I know, winning Rookie of the Season, winning the championship, that puts you on people's radars. So we'll definitely be watching out for him. But congratulations to him, Rooney, winning Rookie of the Season there. So shout out to him, and let's keep moving things along. We got to head into our commentating awards of the season. I know this is the media team, commentating team's favorite part of the night. We may not have any sexy videos this time, but we do have some awards to give out. So Dan, I'm going to throw it to you on this one. I just want to hear your perspective because you were kind of like obviously you commentated in the podcast before, but you weren't technically an official commentator. You didn't really commentate matches this season. So I'm kind of curious, what do you think of commentating this season? The play-by-play commentating, we got color commentating, we got some duos. What do you think of it overall on this season?
I just think it gets better and better every season. Like, I might listen to another stream in another league, but it doesn't compare to Nemesis. I feel like we do raise some really good commentators, and everybody brings their own kind of twist and or experience to the league. So I do think it just gets better and better every season.
That is good to hear. I appreciate that. And it does it. I mean, you got to give a huge shout out to Merely Mental here. He's not here tonight, but the commentating lead, he puts in some work for these guys. He's always training them up there. I've worked with him a lot to kind of get things going on the team, and he's grown the team even more than I thought. So he's really putting in work, getting into workshops, training these people up. So huge shout out to Merely for all the work he puts in to help the commentators, and huge shout out to the commentators for being willing to learn and being willing to put in the work there. So with that being said, let's give out the first one. It is play-by-play commentator of the season. So again, with all these awards, we've taken a lot of different accounts. We taken management, we taken, especially for commentating, we took in the team lead, the team lead aspect of it. We also took in the donor and the power rankings, their votes that they were able to put in. So everything, all these awards, we took in all that into account. And with that being said, the play-by-play commentator of the season, he's actually a newbie up in the booth. It is going to go to Jeff Masters, the play-by-play commentator of the season. There, stealing away from Psycho, but Psycho, I mean, there, if there's someone to be, maybe dethroned by here for play-by-play commentator of the season, I mean, Jeff Masters, what a great guy.
Oh, most definitely, and I love to see it. I'm 4 times in a row is good enough for me. I didn't even want all that many times. I love to see new talent coming in that just have what it takes to be the best. So congratulations to him. I hope he gets it a couple more seasons in a row. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, I mean, huge performances by him. It was good to see him come to the league there. And yeah, play-by-play commentator of the season for this past season. And shout out to him. And let's move on to the color commentator of the season. So this is another one that's exciting. We have another newbie going to win color commentator of the season. It is going to go to Is Charles, who has apparently changed his name to Gallium now. But Is Charles going to take the play-by-play or the color commentator of the season there? And Squirrel, I mean, is Charles a natural in the booth this season?
Yeah, so is Charles is one of those guys that you find him, you get him on stream, and you just instantly know like this guy's got it. He's got a great voice for the booth, and I thought he was a Smurf at first because he was on like a PS4 account, but when he commentated, I was like, oh, this guy plays on like a $3,000 PC with like a $2,000 microphone. But no, he was just using like a tablet, and it
Yeah.
was super impressive. And like just shout out to him making it work and doing well at it.
Yeah, definitely. I was very happy to bring him on. Obviously, Jeff Masters happy to bring him on as well. But is Charles, yeah, you could definitely tell he had that it factor, and he's definitely deserving of color of the season. I hope to get him and Jeff back in the booth for next season, and see if they can keep going, keep improving, keep bringing the quality to our streams. We got one more award to give out for commentators. We got the commentating duo of the season, and the winners of this one are actually going to be a back-to-back winner. So Psycho's not done with this awards. It's Psychonautic and Puggles. They win the commentating. Psycho, any words for winning this one with Puggles?
I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot. I try to put in a lot of work. I know Puggles does too, and honestly, Puggles is like one of the best people on the media team to cast with. He's so good at both color and play-by-play. He's so versatile and always brings such a high level of talent. So it's really, it's really fun to share the booth with him. It's really energetic. It's always a good time. So I appreciate it, Nemesis community and guys. Appreciate all the love, and I'm going to keep doing the best that I can do for everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Psycho, and we appreciate all of our commentators. Obviously, again, we can't thank everyone for their awards, but these are the ones that prove themselves time and time again. So this is Jeff on play-by-play, Charles on color, and Psycho and Puggles for commentating duo of the season. So round of applause for them on taking home those awards. And with that being said, we get to move on to a spicy one where we're going to talk about GM of the season here. This is a good one. So a lot of great GMs. This is, we had 16 GMs again returning this season. So a lot of people came back. A lot of new people came in to the GMing position. But we had 16 different people that could have been a nominee here. We can only pick 3, though. Only 3. We can only pick 3 here. So let's talk about the nominees here. So first nominee, we have Biscuit from the Dragon Energy Org, where there's a first nominee. We have Bubbly Reaper from the Chess Hall coming in as our second nominee. And last but not least, our third and final nominee, we have Rogue from the Pantheon as our third nominee. So Biscuit, Bubbly, and Rogue. Honorable mentions, me and Dan, we get an honorable mention. We're just outside. Yeah, sad little tear there. But a lot of great nominees here. I mean, GM stepped it up this season. Let's start to Dan. I know Dan. He didn't quite make it, but neither did I. So it'd be like that. But what can you tell us about these GMs this season that their orgs had?
Man, first off, I just wanted to say I was trying to go for the 3P like Blizzard did. But all 3 of these GMs kind of have different backgrounds per se, as how they truly got here. You have Rogue basically selling out for last season, season 7, trading away all of his future picks. Then you have Seabiscuit kind of going under the radar for the most part with his teams, and he made a good Welsh roster, very good Hydra roster that one, and you have Bubbly Reaper, which surprisingly, he had I believe it was his first team that ever made grand finals was the Bishops. So he also flew underneath the radar. So a lot of these GMs that don't have big known teams really stepped it up this season.
I think he did have the Pawns make it way back. I think it was season 3 or so. So he's had some teams make it before. He says second in chat as well. So I think the Pawns made it way back in season 3. But I think he was one of these only GMs as well that was able to have all of his teams make the postseason, compete in the postseason. So Bubbly Reaper put in some work there, and yeah, Biscuit, you mentioned Hydra 17 in one season. Biscuit just somehow does it every single season, and like you mentioned, the Whelps making it, and then Rogue as well. With as a new GM to come in, he has the 7th seed Minotaurs win the grand finals. I mean, a lot of great nominees there, but there can only be one winner, as always. There's only one. So the winner for GM of the season is going to go to Bubbly Reaper from the chess hall. He's taken over the GM of the season, and unfortunately has been dethroned. But Bubbly Reaper, Squirrel, definitely a deserving GM of the season. Man, he puts in the work.
Yeah, so we had a lot of great GMs this season, and it was hard to narrow it down to 3. But I think in terms of just pure GMing ability, I think Bubbly showed what it means to be a GM. He took an org that had nothing, and he built multiple postseason teams. He built a grand final team, a team that a lot of people didn't even think was going to make it to the grand finals. I think it was that Bishops roster, and they had a great opportunity, but they just fell short. And I think Bubbly deserves it. He put in a lot of hard work, and uh, you know, if it wasn't Bubbly, I don't know who else it could have been, because this man did it.
Yeah, he definitely did, and doing all this while harboring a good org to be around. I know his players are always really excited. They're well versed within their chess hall community, the Nemesis community. So doing that, having good teams on top of that, I mean, definitely you're definitely a winner here for sure. So congratulations to Bubbly Reaper taking home the GM of season number 7. So big congrats to him. And now we get to into two of the awards that are always a little bit exciting here. We have goal of the season, and then we're gonna have match of the season following that. We get into the MVPs, which I know everyone's waiting for those MVPs. So we're all talking about the goal of the season. So there were a lot of great nominees here. I'll give like a brief description, but my description probably won't do it justice. So you're gonna have to watch the nominees, and you guys can let us know. Can only do so much. I can't describe it perfectly for you. But we have our first nominee is gonna be Bubs with an insane redirect in a crazy long overtime. One of his nominees there. We also have Mitch with a double tap flip reset, also a game winner there in the playoffs. And then we have Rooney, which I believe is the play-in tournament. He had an insane redirect off the wall after getting a 50. So those are the 3 nominees. So yeah, Rooney, Mitch, and Bubs as the nominees. Let's take a look at each one of these nominees.
Well, I think next goal will win it, and both these teams are going to be fighting hard for it. Oh my goodness, Rudy, what is that?
Huge pinch coming off the sidewall. Rudy, known to be mechanical, known to get some touches that are just out of most novices' reach. He gets the
on target, but more patient defense. And now the backboard. Mitch surely has that one, and indeed he does. Krakens take a 3rd game in a row.
I didn't expect him to get the pancake on this one. Originally, when he went up for it, didn't look like he got the flip reset.
In the net. Good try. Fuck.
Oh my
god! Oh my god, what a shot.
You're crazy.
I didn't expect it to go in.
Oh my god!
For 6 minutes.
Oh my god.
That's what it takes.
So there are the nominees, folks, for the winners. I mean, a lot of great shots there, Psycho.
Yeah, a lot of great shots, ranging all the way from novice up well, I mean, just novice and Titan. Prospect, challenger, rival. Y'all need to step up y'all's games. We need some good clips. But yeah, Rooney, Mitch, and Bubs. I mean, all three of these players. Rooney now known to be a mechanical player, but Mitch and Bubs, we've seen him do it time and time again. So it's good to see him still in the flow of things.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, really, all these shots comparable for goal of the season. We got a couple of great submissions there. Management found some great submissions as well here. And the winner, the man keeps winning awards. It's going to be Rooney. I mean, this shot was absolutely insane. Can we watch it one more time, Cream? Let's look at it one more time.
Well, I think next goal will win it, and both these teams are going to be fighting hard for it. Oh my goodness, Rooney, what is that?
Huge pinch coming off the sidewall. Rooney, known to be mechanical, known to get some touches that are just out of most novices' reach. He gets the
I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, I know I was casting this with Psycho, but Dan, I mean, a novice hitting that. Okay, I'm sorry, I keep picking on Dan. The Rooney keeps winning awards, and Dan treated him away. But I mean, Dan, that shot. I mean, I've never seen I've never seen anyone hit a shot like that. I mean, he 50s in the air and hits the redirect into the net after he boosted even towards it as well and hit it in the net. I mean, that was what the heck.
I don't even know how he does it. As a novice, nonetheless, like you would think novice players are the lowest of the low, but he competes with, well, the shot wise, it can look like a Titan clip. You know, it's really good. And every time you say his name, it pains me even more. But he's a really good player, so I gotta give him props for that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the other clips, no slouch either. I mean, you had Bubs with a redirect that looked similar in an insanely long overtime. It bounced though. Rest in peace, Bubs. Maybe the difference bounce versus no bounce. You know how those freestylers are. But then you have Mitch hit a double tap flip reset. I mean, we've seen a lot of people hit double taps and hit flip resets, but I mean, it doesn't get any easier. Just because more people can do them. And Mitch definitely on there as well. But Rooney, he takes home the cake there. Again, another award for him. Congratulations on the goal of the season. Definitely deserving there for sure. So yeah, let's move along. We got one more, and then we're gonna get into some MVPs. So let's do it. Let's do it. We got the match of the season here. So a lot of great candidates here in this one. This one always seems to be tough. Always seems to be tough here on this one. So let's go through the nominees here. We can talk briefly about them, and then we'll see who the winner is. So first on the list, we have Hydra versus Arrival. And this one was insane. The semifinals, it was insane, obviously, on the GM of Arrival, so it's a little bit painful, but we get the Rival League playoffs, Hydra versus Arrival. Arrival, coming in with a pretty bad record. I think, 8-10 on the season, and they go up 3-0 on Hydra and then reverse sweep. That's one of the nominees. We got Gladiators versus Warhawks. That was a perfect sweep, which probably has never been done in Nemesis history, especially in the playoffs. So Gladiators Warhawks perfect sweep. They're 4-0 in favor of the Gladiators, and then Ignite versus Whelps, the Novice League Grand Finals, and that one all the way to 7. So some insane nominees there, Squirrel, on the board.
Yeah, all of these had their own different accolades as to why they should have gotten match of the season. Reverse sweeps in playoffs, super uncommon. Perfect sweeps in playoffs are also super uncommon. And Game 7 grand finals are just so hyped that if that ever happens, then you just kind of have to give it at least a nomination. So we'll see which one of these gets it, but all three were great, and I want to thank all the teams for putting on a show for us on stream.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about the playing tournament, I know we've talked about this, but I mean, what was it? I think it was over half the matches in the playing tournament. Was it just the playing tournament? Yeah, of all the playing tournament matches, we had, was that 15 over round? We had 8 of the 15, if I recall correctly, that went to game 5. So, I mean, these teams they were putting in the work for us for sure, and a lot of these guys are deserving. And there were even some ones that didn't get mentioned on here. We had an honorable mention. There was 2 of them on here. We had Krakens versus Vanguard, where in the first round where it was a near reverse sweep. of the best team, or well, I guess the best team in the regular season, 18-0 Krakens, almost got reverse swept by Vanguard. And then another honorable mention there, Blizzard versus Krakens, which was the last match of the regular season, where Krakens, they clinched their perfect regular season, and Blizzard almost reverse swept them. They ended up getting the last laugh, though. Blizzard did. I'm sure Dan's happy about that. But yeah, let's talk about the winner here. The winner for match of the season. It's going to go to Ignite versus Whelps in that insane Game 7 grand finals where Ignite went down 3-1 in that series, came back to win. Let's take a look at I think Squirrel whipped this one together for us, this video here. Let's take a look at what Squirrel cooked up for us.
As Marino gets a huge pop.
Oh my!
He has a good chance on net. 2 go, but Marino nowhere to be found for Whelps. As Charles, he's gonna go the length of the field, but the ball, it's still up in the orange half, but it's gonna hit the ground. And like you said, we have our very first overtime here in Game 1. But Marino, he has it as Vita stretching out to make that save, but he's able to get it nonetheless. As Vita, he's going to take the ball off of...
Oh my.
He has an open net. Jeff Masters, awkward on the back end.
Yeah, no, Grebsy gets an awkward touch, and Vita just going to pop the ball up, getting a searching shot, and Jeff Masters just gets caught on the back foot with the ball soaring above his head. What a not the way you want to win a Game 1, but, you know, a win's a win. Right now is try and get a good clear out, and then put a shot past the defense, which Mr. Marino does so just now.
Mr. Marino, he's able to do a bunch of work as he gets it all the way out of his own half, gets it by the last defender, and just the floater over Charles puts them up 1-0. A big bounce back after the first game. Going up the wall, kind of fakes out Charles there, but the ball able to go off the corner in front of the net. This Whelps defense, they're holding strong just for 3 more seconds. They'll get the game as they clear it out. The ball still up in the air. Jeff Masters putting it on target. The ball needs to stay up in the air in order for Ignite to go to overtime, but they can't do that as the ball touches the ground, and Whelps, they take Game 2. They're just not in such important places as Grebsy. He's going to put the 4th one and the nail in the coffin of this game, and Charles, I think he wanted to switch teams there.
Yeah, no, it's just an unfortunate touch by Charles, passing it to Grebsy, and Grebsy, he had an open net, but, I mean, that goal doesn't even matter. The game was already over. All Ignite needs to do is GG, go next, and then reset their mindset going to the next one. And it looks like they are about to call a timeout after this game, maybe get their heads on straight, find a good strategy to disrupt this Whelps defense, because right now, this Whelps team is rolling. Offensive pressure by Ignite. And Grebsy could put another on target here. And, I mean, right off the bat, the Whelps are up 3-0 in this Game 4.
Yeah, and this is why Whelps, they're counted as such a good team. I mean, the counterattacks right now, they're going crazy for them. They got 3 within the first minute. And honestly, at this early on, it's looking really rough here for Ignite. Clean out the clock here as Vita get the touch off the backboard. Charles able to push it downfield. Rooney and Jeff Masters 1-on-1.
Oh my!
Huge fake challenge. Charles puts it off the backboard. Oh, then he misses, but Charles not able to capitalize. And Whelps, they had such a good lead, and it seems like they're stealing away Game 4. Grand finals is Charles. He's trying to get it back to Rooney, but Rooney not able to find the ball, but he finds a demo instead. Rooney out to the midfield. He's there. He's able to put it in. And this is a good start here for this Ignite team.
No, that's a way to kick it off, Puggles. They had a pivotal game. Nice little passing play by Rooney to Vita. And Vita just puts it top shelf for the first goal of this
Charles,
game.
the last one there. He dives in, throws it out. Mr.
No.
Can he get back to it? No, he can't. The demo, it came in clutch. It messed up Mr. Marino, but Jeff Masters throwing it in front, all to Vane. As the ball, it stays up. The ball is very dangerous. Jeff Masters gets a touch, throws it out mid. Rooney's there. He's going to beat out Marino as it goes off the ceiling, and it's going to hit the ground and Ignite. They squeak away. I feel like I'm saying that every time now, but Ignite, they managed to get able to read it off the backboard. Rooney back out. Jeff Masters cuts it out. Marino on target. Charles awkward, able to put it away, but it's not safe.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, the net. The ball's still up. The ball needs to touch the ground, and it is as Ignite. They push Welps all the way to 7 here. Masters trying to beat out Vito. Vito off the backboard. It might just roll in front for Rooney. Rooney is going to put it in left side early here in game 1.
And I mean, Ignite's just going to strike early on this one, putting in the back of the net off a pass from Vita. And I mean, Mr. Marino just doesn't find the touch he needs. And coming off the timeout, Ignite going to strike first.
Welps, they're looking to get that going as Mr. Marino and Jeff Masters both pushed up. But Rooney in the air, dangerous.
Oh, man.
It's another one, and it's looking it's looking really bad for Welps right now.
I mean, with a minute left, it looks like the Ignite have all but punched their ticket.
We're going to rub it in the face of these Welps players, as we did see a bit of trash talk coming up from both of these sides. It's Charles just gonna throw another one in there. Why not? Get it all out of here. Get the hat trick, finish it off, and I mean, Ignite, your season 7 Nemesis winners.
All right, so there you have it, folks. The match of the season is going to go to the Novice League Grand Finals, Ignite versus Wells, with Ignite making the comeback, becoming the lowest seed to ever win a Nemesis championship ever, 10 seed. They went from 10 in the playing tournament all the way to number 1 at the end of the season. And of course, it went to a game 7, because why not? Why not go to a game 7? So definitely deserving. Hope you guys enjoyed that little run back for match of the season. Congratulations to Ignite versus Whelps on taking home a match of the season. And yeah, let's move along. We've got some MVPs to give out here. So we're gonna go league by league here and talk about who's winning MVPs. We got finals MVPs and we got regular season MVPs, which I'm sure will be some good debate, some good talking points there. Let's start with finals MVP of the Novice League. And this one, I guess we're not going to talk too much about it, but we can talk about the man who won. Well, I don't even know how to do an introduction. Maybe we just say this man's won too many awards tonight. He's winning another one. Rooney's taking home the finals MVP for Novice League, because why not? I mean, he's won everything. He's won everything tonight, and he is going to be the Novice League Finals MVP. Let's take a look at his video.
That little stream delay seems to not be the same, but Rooney able to put it off this.
What a shot by Rooney.
Well, there you have it, Rooney with a performance of the season, and obviously in the finals, Ignite winning it definitely showed up as one of the best in that series. Well, according to us, the best in that series. So, Psycho, what did we see from Rooney in that that grand finals? I know neither of us cast it, but we got to witness what he did in that series.
Yeah, it was some pretty good stuff, I gotta say. He came through the entire season and he didn't let up at all, even in the grand finals. He came in with an average 303.29 score, 0.86 goals per game, 0.71 assists per game, and 0.86 saves per game. So just barely under the 1 point mark on all of the things, but he was getting everything going.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and when you're averaging nearly 1 per in all the major stat categories, I mean, clearly you're doing something right. You're putting in some work for your team. So congratulations to Rooney on taking home the finals MVP for the Novice League. And with that being said, we get to move into our first big boy award of the night, the one everyone is always waiting for. We have the Novice League regular season MVP here on the board. So a lot of great candidates here. I'm going to announce the nominees. We'll take a look at their nomination videos. and then we'll go from there. So the nominees for Novice League regular season MVP, we have Icarus from Frost, we have MB Outcast from the Ninjas, and we have Mr. Silent from the Pawns. Three excellent players there. A couple honorable mentions there. We have Isa Chad from the Crows, Jeff Masters from the Whelps, and Rooney. An honorable mention here from Ignite there. So those are our nominees, Icarus, MBO, Cast, and Mr. Silent. Let's take a look at their nomination videos. All right, so we have the nominees. We got Icarus, MBO Cast, Mr. Silent, all with insane regular season. So I'm gonna bring around the table here. We can talk about who we think is gonna win here for these ones. Obviously, some deserving people. Let's start with Squirrel here. Who do you think is gonna win this one, Squirrel? Who do you think is the most deserving potentially out of these people?
To me, I think it's got to be Icarus. I actually had the chance to, I think, re-sign Icarus, and I went with Louis instead. So definitely my lowest moment as a GM. But Icarus, I've heard his name way too much in just novice in general in the chats on streams. Everyone talking about how good Icarus is. I just heard it way too much for him to not win it.
Definitely. And I mean, the stats, Squirrel, looking at his stats there, over 400 average score, 1.04 goals a game. He's averaging 1.19 saves per game. I mean, the man's putting some work out there for sure. So
Absolutely.
definitely a good shout there. Psycho, who do you want to win this award here?
Well, I'm pulling out the bias right now. I'm gonna go rooting for my org and my former teammate MB Outcast. We played together on Ninjas season 6, and he carried the torch in season 7. I mean, he put up some amazing numbers throughout the season: 435 average score, 1.5 goals, and 1 point on the saves. So he did a lot of work for the Ninjas and got him a playoff run.
I mean, 1.53 goals, Psycho, that's insane. That's almost unheard of, I think, in Nemesis. That might be the most goals per game ever in a regular season. I don't know exactly what that is, but he might be up there with 1.53. So that's insane from MBO Cast. Dan, who are you thinking is going to win this one? Who are you pulling for? I may have a guess here on this one, considering he may be on your team.
Yeah, a little bit org bias. Icarus, my guy. I do think he should be able to win it. I got him from a trade earlier, way early in the season. I think it was like game 3 or 4 when I got him, and he kind of just ran with the role of being the captain of my Frost team, and then he eventually made it as the second seed. So I'm pulling for him.
Yeah, definitely not a bad person to pull for there. And I've got to shout out Mr. Silent here because there is a huge reason why he was on this on this nomination list. I mean, for the Pawns, he was that guy. People were talking. I've heard from the novices. When you play the Pawns, you got to watch out for Mr. Silent. I mean, he's put in the work this season. He's also averaging nearly 400 a game, 400 score a game, over a goal per game on the season, almost a save per game, and assists are up there as well, almost 0.7 assists as well, which is hard to do over an entire season. So, I mean, Mr. Silent from the Pawns, for me, definitely one of those guys that is deserving and definitely could be a winner here on this one. And all three of these guys, really, I mean, it was difficult. It was difficult there. Even the honorable mentions gave us a hard time as well. But we have Icarus, MPO Cast, and Mr. Silent. And the winner for Novice League regular season MVP of season 7 is going to go to MB Outcast from the Ninjas. Let's take a look at his winner video. All right, so there you have it. MB Outcast taking home the regular season MVP for the Novice League, and I mean, it's hard. It's hard to it's hard to beat someone that's averaging 1.53 goals per game. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I mean that's if someone's averaging 1.53 goals per game on me, I'd say give them the give them the MVP for sure. For MB Outcast. So congratulations to him. That's the Novice League wrapped up in a bow there with MPO Cast taking it home. Let's move on to the Prospect League where we had another interesting one for. So we're gonna start with the Finals MVP as we do. So this one was a crazy series. I mean, certainly not what some people expected in what happened. I mean, we had Melons, we had Minotaurs. Squirrel, I know you were, I guess, the former GM for the Melons. Obviously that was a crazy series to see what happened in that one.
Yeah, like Melons, I think were considered probably the best team in Prospect League going into that. And Rogue and the other boys on that roster. I think it was Rogue, Jatron, and Snazzy that played in that one. I don't think maybe Wheels played a little bit. Not too certain, but for them to come out and as the lowest prospect seeded team to ever win it, that's just huge for them. And all of these boys showed up, but only one person can win it, and I'm super excited for the winner of this one.
Yeah, the winner. I mean, an amazing performance in the grand finals. There, averaging 2 goals a game, averaging a save a game as well, and over 400 score just in the grand finals. There, in a highly contested against a highly contested Melons team. It is going to go to Rogue from the Minotaurs there, taking home the finals MVP. Congratulations to him. Let's take a look at his MVP or his finals MVP video. All right, there you have it. Rogue taking it home. Good to see you, Rogue, pulling home that award, especially after not playing for the beginning of the season, no PC for a while. He's like you now, Squirrel, with not able to get on his PC, obviously for different circumstances, but he came back there and performed well for his team at the end of the season. So congratulations to him, Rogue taking home the Finals MVP. And now we get to move into another spicy one here, and it is going to be the MVP of the Prospect League, and we've got some great nominees on board for this one. So let me go through them. We'll break them down here, and then we will talk a little about them. So first MVP nominee is going to be Alex from the Melons there. Second nominee is going to be I Play for Slays, making an appearance on this one from Origin. Definitely helped turn the team around there. And then last but not least, we have Midnight also from the Melons. So 2 Melons MVP nominees here on this one. And then we have Slays from Origin. Let's take a look at their videos and kind of see what they did this season. Nominees, we get Alex from the Melons, Slays from Origin, and Midnight from the Melons. A couple of honorable mentions here, definitely deserving of some shoutouts here. We got Dr. Waffles, Jatron, and Puggles for honorable mentions here for MVP. So we have Alex and Midnight from the Melons. We got Slays from Origin here. And Squirrel, you've obviously got a little bit of a what is the word for it? A horse in the race? Is it dog in the race? I don't know. Horse in the race. You got some stakes here. Obviously, who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is most deserving out of these three?
I think the saying is we've got a squirrel in the race, Rocker Man. But
Okay.
so obviously Alex and Midnight, I kind of put that team together. Midnight was like, hey, pick this guy up, and we made it happen. And both players definitely deserve it, but I've got to go with Alex. Alex just by far probably in my opinion the best player in Prospect League this season and probably many seasons to come. He was just a dominant player. I don't know how someone else didn't pick him up earlier, but at the start of the season, we lost both of our first two games, and then as soon as Alex comes onto the roster, we don't lose another game um, until the grand finals.
Oof. Well, that a little painful, but I mean, a huge performance for him bringing him on the team for sure there. So definitely a solid contender here. Dan, I want to throw it to you. Who do you think is going to win this award, or who are you rooting for out of these three, Alex, Slays, and Midnight?
I do think that Midnight should get this award because this isn't Midnight's first rodeo in Prospect. If I remember, he was with you in season 4 on Origin. Maybe. I just know
don't
this
think
wasn't.
so.
No, but I know this isn't his first rodeo. Like he's been in Prospect for a while
Yeah.
now, so I think it should go to him.
That is a very fair. Yeah, you're definitely right about that part though, about him being in prospect for a while, or at least around that range there. So he's definitely been around and definitely a huge performance, a huge improvement. I mean, you could almost argue him for most improved player, like you could for a lot of people. So definitely a good shout there. And Psycho, last but not least, I'm gonna throw it to you on this one. Who maybe you're rooting for out of these three?
Yeah, I'd love to see it go to Slays. Slays making his return season in season 7. He had to sit season 6 out. I think he might have set out 5-2, but I don't remember. But making a comeback, getting on Origin, he almost turned the season around. They didn't quite make it into the play-ins, but he really put up some numbers with the average 401 score and 1.0 goals and 1.45 saves for the season. He was definitely a defensive wall for those guys.
Yeah, and I mean he played a lot of games this season as well. I don't have the exact number on here, but I think he was up there, just 58 individual games, which is near the tops in prospect. Maybe even he might have even been the tops. I don't even remember exactly, but Slays, he if I had a vote, he be getting my vote. I love Slays there. Good kid there, and he definitely, like you said, he turned Origin around. I mean, Origin was struggling at the beginning of the season, and at the end of things, Origin they were so close. They were one match difference from making it into the play-ins. So you really turned things around and really carried Origin through that season. So respect to Slays. And yeah, so Alex, Midnight, and Slays, those are our nominees, and the winner for Prospect MVP is going to go to Midnight from the Melons there, taking it home. Let's take a look at his MVP winning video. All right, so there you have it. Minute taking it home. I mean, it's just an exquisite performance, from him this season, averaging probably the most score per game in prospect. I mean, 1.24 goals. I mean, it's not NBL cast numbers of 1.5, which is unheard of, but 1.24 throughout the season in goals and 1.32 saves, and tack on a point of 7 assists to his name. I mean, Squirrel, you got one of your players. They put in the work this season. You got two of them nominated. One of them wins. So, for Midnight, a huge performance this season and definitely a deserving guy.
Yeah, we love to see it, and he's been around a while, and it's good for him to get some recognition. So we love Midnight around, not just in the Fruit Ninjas, but in Nemesis as a whole. He's a great dude and definitely deserving.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations to Midnight taking home the regular season MVP for the Prospect League. So big shout out to him. And yeah, let's keep things rolling. We got to move on to the Challenger League here, where we had an insane season. I know I was involved in Challenger, so I guess I can say it was insane. There were some really good teams in Challenger, and let's start with the Finals MVP before I just get all sob story about the Challenger League being the best. We got to talk about the Finals MVP first. So this matchup here, Dan, was one of those matches that was, it was a little bit different. We had the Raptors taking on the Bishops there, and I mean that one it went the way of the Raptors. Maybe not what we expected, but a 4-2 win nonetheless.
Yeah, for that overall grand finals, it was definitely an interesting one because people didn't really see the Bishops even getting there in the first place. Raptors, I mean, they were up there on the team, so people expected them, but the Bishops were the underdog in that, and we actually kind of got a decent match out of it, which I was pretty surprised about.
Yeah, we did, and they started that one with that or with Oinko actually, and they actually started that one without the Finals MVP, which is going to go to Demon from the Raptors with a huge performance in this one, nearly averaging one in every category in the Grand Finals, and insane performance from him. So Demon, or now known as LK, on this one, he is going to take home the Finals MVP for the Challenger League. So let's take a look at his highlights from that series. All right, so there you have it. Demon LK winning the Challenger League Finals MVP performance for him. I mean, well deserved for the Raptors. I know they were kind of our rivals in our division. Me and Ascension and the Raptors going head to head, but definitely a good player there, and he deserved to win the Finals MVP for sure. So, huge congratulations to him on that one. And yeah, congrats to the Raptors on taking home the championship as well there. And let's keep things rolling. Let's move into the spicy one of the season, the Challenger League MVP here. And now this one, I think maybe Squirrel Psycho, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like this one it had the most possibilities, I guess, for to get a top 3 spot. I mean, even the honorable mentions are going to seem crazy, and there's a couple people after that, were psycho. It was tough to narrow it down just to 3.
Yeah, I can imagine it was Challenger League being arguably one of the most competitive leagues in Season 7 for the whole of Nemesis. There was a lot of crazy stuff that happened in the Challenger League. Some good footage, some really top-notch gameplay.
Yeah, for sure. And I had to look at Chad and Isaac. Isaac brings up a good point. I did have the most goals per game in the Challenger League Finals this season. We don't have to talk about that note. That's a completely unrelated note. But yeah, Challenger League this season, there were crazy players. There's some crazy players. So let's talk about the nominees here for the Challenger League Finals MVP, or well, Challenger League regular season MVP. Excuse me. So let's go on the list. First on the list here, we have Cottony from the Raptors, ended up winning the whole thing there. He is a nominee. We have Isaac from Flame, another great performer, really keeping Flame going throughout the season. And then we have Kratos from the Bishops there for the third nominee, and some honorable mentions here. I mean, some great players. You got Ibonic from the Raptors, Merely from Ascension, Mr. Climax also from the Bishops. So those teams put in some work there for the nominees. Let's take a look at Cottony, Isaac, and Kratos and their nominee videos. All right, so here we go. Here we go. We got our nominees, and this one, like I said, not only was it tough to determine, who was the top three, but between these top three, I mean, there are cases to be made. I mean, I think all three of these players, no hate on the rest of the players on the team, but I think clearly these guys were the best of their team, and it's determining about who was the best, of those players. So it's very tough, and let's go around. Let's hear some picks. Let's hear some debate about this one. Squirrel, let's start with you. Who you think is going to win, or who you think is deserving? Who you want to shout out between Condi, Isaac, and Kratos?
Well, I'm a little bit biased here because at the end of the season, I did switch and become the GM of the Atrium org, so I'm gonna have to give it to Cotney here. Like I said, he was on my org at the end of the season. He was a huge help, especially at the end of the season when Ibonic was suspended, and even further into the playoffs, he was a big help as well. And Ibonic definitely or not Ibonic, Cotney definitely standing out there for that Raptors squad.
Yeah, definitely. Dan, I want to throw it to you over here on this one. Who do you think is deserving to take this one home?
I think Cottony should actually be able to take this home. They won the grand finals, and I know wasn't he on Velocity, I believe, last season. I just feel like the whole build up, I just seen like how much he moves around the field. He's just so efficient, so mechanical as well. I just think overall we should just give it to Cottony.
First shout. I mean, Cotney, he was one of those guys I know when we were playing the Raptors in the playoffs, we're like, we got to stop Cotney. Please stop Cotney. If we can stop Cotney, we'll have a good shot here. And he's a tough player to stop, very tough player to stop. And Psycho, I'll throw it to you here. Who do you think out of this list that you're liking?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the big man Kratos. He was looking really hot this season. Was definitely a big part of the Bishops' run from play-ins all the way into grand finals. Unfortunately, they did lose that to the Raptors, but he was a heavy proponent on the winning, them winning and getting as far as they did. And I mean, his numbers he put up were just amazing across the season with 1.24 goals per game, 1.38 saves. He was a menace on the pitch.
Yeah, he really was. He really was Big Crate, as they call him there. I remember at the beginning of the season, you were like, "Call him Big Crate, call him Big Crate." So got to bring it back there. So Big Crate, definitely a huge nominee, and someone we didn't talk about, who, in my opinion, is probably the best player in Challenger League this season, is Isaac from Flame. Obviously, there were some circumstances where local was on his team, got banned, but I mean Isaac, to me, when I thought Challenger League, as a player in Challenger League, when I said, who is the one guy that I'm scared most of, it's probably Isaac. I mean, Isaac, he kind of did it all for his team. He was that guy. He held them down. He was, when you played Flame, it's the same thing as Cottony. When you play Flame, you're like, you gotta stop Isaac, stop that man, stop that man. You often couldn't really stop him. So Isaac for me was definitely that guy. So if I had a vote, it would go to Isaac here. But Cotton and Kratos both really deserving here. And this is a close one. This one was really tough. We had a lot of debate back and forth on this one. I mean, really close. With these three players, it's about as close as it can get. I mean, really, all three good in their own ways, good teams, great players, on those great teams. I mean, regular seasons, great regular seasons. Obviously, keep in mind this is only taking regular season, doesn't count for playoffs. So great regular seasons here from all these guys. And the winner is going to go to Isaac from Flame. He's taking it home there at the Challenger League regular season MVP. Congratulations to him. And let's take a look at his highlights. All right, so there you have it. Isaac taking it home, a well-deserving player in my eyes, and congratulations to him. Flame didn't quite have the end of the season they wanted, but in the regular season, Flame was definitely one of those teams. Got the 2 seed out of all that, and they were a scary team. Really in a very good part from Isaac there. So congratulations to Isaac taking home the Challenger League MVP for that one, and let's move right along. Let's get into. We got 2 more leagues to go, guys. 2 more leagues to go here. We've got Rival League and then we got Titan League. We're almost up to the very top here. So let's start with this one. Let's go to the finals MVP for the Rival League, where we had a series. We had a series in the Rival League. It didn't quite live up to what everyone wanted, but we had Hydra taking on Distortion. Squirrel, I know you're a Rival League player here, so I want to throw it to you to talk maybe a little bit about that Rival League Grand Finals. Obviously, we had Hydra versus Distortion. It was maybe not what we expected, but it was interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, Rival League was very one-sided this season, with Hydra just almost going flawless. I think Whiteout handed them their only victory, and they had a few close calls, so it wasn't like Distortion was going into that one completely, demoralized. Like Hydra had been shown to bleed a little bit, but Hydra just was able to get the job done. I think they were the heavy favorites, and it's no surprise who's going to win this one, as like this guy was a heavy favorite even from day one. And fun fact, Hydra is the only team to ever win grand finals without any of their players being drafted.
Well, there you go. There you go. With the new off-season rules, where you can trade a player and you can return some players there. Things are interesting. The trades can be crazy there for sure. And well, maybe that's not the statement we want in a draft-based league, but hey, it happens sometimes. So that's something to say. 7 seasons, first team to ever do it. Very impressive, to say the least, and to do it 17-1, very impressive as well. So the winner for Finals MVP of the Rival League, a man who went insane in this game, went nuclear even in this one. It's going to go to Mayo from Hydra. Let's take a look at Mayo's highlights.
My friend here,
Mayo.
he's already taken, and he's cracked at
Rocket League.
Well, he is definitely cracked at Rocket League. I agree with that. I agree with that video. Great video coming out from our team there. And yeah, he's definitely cracked. He definitely deserved it. I mean, almost 450 average score a game there. 1 goal, 2 saves, nearly an assist a game. I mean, Rival League Finals MVP. I mean, he was the man. He was the man, the myth, the legend there. So Mayo, you condiment you congratulations on taking that one home, the Finals MVP for the Rival League. And let's keep things going. Let's move on to Rival League regular season MVP on this one. We got some more great nominees, and yeah, we got a lot to talk about here. So let's go through the nominees. Let's go through the nominees for Rival League here. Again, another one where we had some debate. We definitely had some debate on who should be a nominee and who's going to get the honorable mentions here. But let's go through the nominees. We have iTrash from the Chimeras for regular season MVP nominee. We also have Larry from Whiteout, and then we have Mayo from Hydra coming back here on this list. And then honorable mentions go to Niklu, Vulcan, and Zap. And let's take a look. Let's take a look at these nominee videos.
Yes.
All right, so there you have it. There you have it. The Rival League MVP nominees. We've got iTrash, Larry, and Mayo on this one, and I mean, all great in their own rights. Again, it's. I feel like we talk about every season is getting better than the last. I think Bagels is one that always says it. I know a lot of people say just Nemesis keeps getting better, but Bagels would always say the players and the team just keep getting better. And I think this, again, this season is another one where we have people that just carry their teams to get nominated here. And all three of these guys, were arguably the carry of their team. And Squirrel, starting with you again. I mean, you got some good people that you could definitely describe as most valuable for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with iTrash on this one. When I think of the MVP award, I think of someone who made the most impact um, with what they were given. And iTrash didn't have as much talent on his team as Larry or Mayo may have had. So I think iTrash definitely stood out and helped the Chimeras get as far as they did. And to me, that's definitely stand out and extremely valuable for a player.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to argue with that. He's definitely a huge value to the Chimeras and Rogue, and the boys were happy to have him on there for sure. So he's definitely a good shout here. Psycho, let's throw it to you out of this list. Obviously, we got some really good players on here. Who you rocking with, Psycho? Who you rocking with in this one?
Well, I think this one's going to go to Larry, man. Larry is known to be the carry. He really steps up whenever his team needs him to. He's got that clutch gene coming in with 425 average score, 1.24 goals, zero point 0.6 assists, and 1.0 saves. I mean, he really put in a lot of work throughout the season, and he's an OG here in Nemesis, and we know that he's one of the top players.
Yeah, definitely. A former teammate of mine actually played on a rival last season, and Dan, he got traded over to you guys there on the way there. I know you're really happy to have him, and he put in some good work for your team. I assume you got to go with him, right, for your pick
Yeah.
for MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, he did something that nobody else did in the league. They beat Hydra, you know?
That's
17
true.
and 1. Who's the one? Larry and the boys. Larry should get it.
That is true. They did take him down. They were the only team. I mean, Hydra, they went through a playoffs, didn't
It was a
lose.
sweep.
Yeah, only one. I mean, technically, they're what is that? If you add all that up, 20 and one on the season, and they only got the one from Larry and Whiteout. So that's a fair point there. That's a fair point. And yeah, and well, I guess I got to be the one to shout out this guy because you guys just make it too easy. I mean, what else do I have to say than 476 score per game? 476. 476 per game from Mayo this season. 1.19 goals, 1.71 saves on the season. So the man was putting in the work. His assists were up there as well, higher than any of the other three candidates. And I mean, Mayo, he was the finals MVP, but I mean, you got the best player on the best team and he's going to win the MVP for the Rival League this season. Mayo takes it home. He is the most valuable player for Rival League. Let's take a look at his winner video. All right, so there you have it. The MVP of the regular season. It's going to go to Mayo. He takes home the Finals MVP and the regular season, a feat rarely done there, but he definitely deserved it. And yeah, I mean, Mayo, what else can you say? I mean, the man popped off this season, best player in Rival League for sure. So congratulations to him on that one. And let's do it. We're down to the last couple of awards here. We've got We've got the Finals MVP, the regular season MVP, and then we can talk about the All League teams, and then we'll do a little preview. Obviously, Season 8's kind of kicking off, but we'll do a little preview nonetheless. So let's finish off though. We got MVPs of the Titan League. We have Finals MVP first. And Dan, I gotta throw it to you because this was an insane series. You were obviously involved again, with Blizzard pulling off the 3P. What can you tell us about the finals? Your thoughts of watching it. Obviously, Pinnacle almost came back. I mean, it was me versus you, a tale as old as Nemesis time. Rockerman versus Dan. What did you think of the grand finals this season?
The first thing I thought about was season 5, how that went to a game 7. That was a crazy series, and that's what started off the Blizzard dynasty of going back to back to back, baby. But overall, I was thinking to myself, how did Pinnacle even make it this far? Nobody really is oh, Pinnacle's a scary, scary team. I mean, you look at the roster, it's pretty solid. They have Insanity, and then they have Deluxe. I forget who your third was, Edwin, I believe, subbed up. And then you had Blizzard, which you had Mad Max, Toxic, and then Zinvez, which all have experiences in the grand finals. So I think it was a titanic of a match.
Mm-hmm. That definitely was. And I mean, Blizzard, they go up 3-0. Dan, what were your thoughts in game 6 when, Pinnacle was nearing that reverse sweep territory? All they needed was one goal in that game 6 and went to overtime. What were your emotions like? I know I was casting that one. I know my emotions. I was getting hype for my boys, possibly to make Nemesis history. A reverse sweep in the grand finals would have been insane. What were your thoughts in that game 6, knowing that, oh my goodness, Blizzard might be getting reverse swept by the 7th seed?
I was thinking to myself, not like this. But yeah, it was starting to get really concerning because I was like, guys, you're trolling, right? Right? You guys had this in the bag. But I was starting to get nervous as soon as game 6 hit, and I was like, ooh, this is not looking too good because I knew if we got to the game 7, the reverse sweep is definitely in the back of my mind.
Yeah, for sure. But hey, fortunately for you, they were able to hold on, pull off the 3-peat. And let's give the Finals MVP out here. It's a man we know. It's a man who's been near the top of Nemesis ever since he came in. It's going to go to Mad Max from Blizzard. There, he pulled off an amazing season. 419 score per game there in the grand finals, 1.17 goals, and nearly 1 in assists and saves there. So the man put in the work. Let's take a look at his highlights. Mad Max.
I'm singing, take me to a world of silver, no more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers, take me somewhere unfamiliar, bring me back to where we started get me out of now, to where we started
All right, well there we have it, Mad Max. A man who has my heart. He may have broken it in the grand final, but I love Mad Max there, and good to see him winning. And we were just talking a little bit while we were watching that video, and unfortunately for Dan and the Blizzard Dynasty, Mad Max is heading to the draft, which he might be one of the most sought after people in that Titan League draft. So we'll have to see where he ends up, the Finals MVP. But he brought home the chip, Dan. All is good. He brought home the chip, the 3-peat.
Yeah, he brought home 3 chips, and I don't know if you guys looked yet, but I traded for Mitch, so Blizzard isn't done yet.
Blizzard isn't done yet. Well, there you go. We'll have to see what happens there. And yeah, with that being said, let's get on to the last award of the night. Obviously, you got the All League teams. We've kind of already talked about the All League teams. We'll wrap it up in a bit with that. But the final or the MVP of the regular season for the Titan League, and this one, again, I mean, this one had some bangers. There's some banger nominees here. So nominees for Titan League MVP. We have Arrow from the Vanguard, who put up an amazing season, as he always seems to do, at the top of the Titan League. He's been around for a while, putting up some good seasons. We have Duckworth from Nebula, who put in a great season. Definitely, one of these guys we could have easily thrown on rookie of the season. I mean, you'll see a lot. There's a lot of people that could have been rookie of the season. Duckworth, definitely one of them. He's a finalist for MVP of the regular season. And last but not least, we have Luca from the 18-0 regular season Krakens there on the list. We have Arrow, Duckworth, Luca. Honorable mentions to One Tap Steph, Deluxe, and Mad Max there for that. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at Arrow, Duckworth, and Luca and their nomination videos. All right, so there we have it. The nominees: Arrow, Duckworth, Luca. I mean, three amazing players this last season. Again, it's one of these ones where these guys seemed like the carry on their team for most of the time. You want to shut down a guy, you got to shut down these guys. So again, Squirrel, as we do, let's start with you here on who is your pick. Who was the best one out of this list in your eyes?
I gotta go with Duckworth on this one. His stats were amazing. In my opinion, he was probably the best player in Titan League this season, and he beat Luca in every category, stats wise, except for saves. And he was only 2 score per game behind him on average. And the reason I compare him to Luca is Luca has won MVP like so many times in the past. So I feel like that's like, if you're right there with Luca and beating him in most categories, then you definitely deserve MVP.
There you go. Yeah, definitely. I mean, for him to come out of nowhere, it seemed like, and kind of put in that work, against a two-time MVP like Luca there, season 3, season 4. I mean, well deserved there. So, Psycho, let me throw it to you. Let's hear who you're rocking with out of this list.
I think I'm going to go with Arrow here. I think he's a big contender for the MVP. Arguably one of the most mechanical players in Nemesis. One of the top players as well in Nemesis. He, like you said earlier, he always has a good run, a good season. Always gets into the playoffs, and he didn't get very far into the playoffs, but he did go through the play-ins. And he's one of those guys that hits clips on stream. So
Yeah.
I got to give a lot of love to him.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, especially in the Titan League, Psycho, for a guy like Arrow pulling off clips, as he does. I mean, I know when we cast a game with Arrow and they were like, what's this guy gonna do? He's gonna clip from somewhere, he's gonna clip from here, he's gonna clip from there, He's always a scary guy to clip for sure. And yeah, so Arrow, I like that pick. I like that pick from Psycho there. And Dan, I gotta throw it to you on this one. Who do you think, Dan? Who do you think is the winner? We got Arrow, Duck, Luca on the list. You don't have any affiliations this time, so you can't say say Mad Max, unfortunately. But out of these three, who do you think had the best season?
So I'm gonna go with Toxic on this one. No, I'm gonna I've heard a lot of things about all three of these people. Duckworth, I've heard, quote unquote best player in season 7 out of the whole Nemesis. Luca, I mean, you keep saying his name over and over again. He's been multiple MVPs, but I'm gonna give it to Arrow. I think that, I mean, he's not necessarily underrated. I just feel like he's deserving of some kind of MVP of the team he was on with Magic Mike. So I give it there.
Yeah, definitely a solid contender there. So we got a couple of picks. We got 2 for Arrow, 1 for Duckworth, 0 for Luca. But so they're gonna force me to talk about Luca here, I guess, in my idea. So thanks for that, guys. But Luca, I mean, obviously a great player, 2-time MVP in Nemesis here, and again, it's kind of mentioned, him and Duckworth. Duckworth may have had him in most categories except for saves, but I mean, it was so close. It was, about as close as it can get there between the two. And I mean, Luca, he's been around. He's been a great player in Nemesis for seasons when he does play. And for him to come back this season and, pull off something that, we've only seen happen once, and it was never happened in an 18-match regular season. We saw the Krakens go undefeated. And when you got a team that goes undefeated, you got to have the MVP. Well, maybe not always, but in this case, you do. Luka is going to take home the Titan League regular season MVP, his third MVP of the Titan League. The man is racking them up here. And let's take a look at his MVP winner video. All right, well, there you have it. The last award coming through there for Luka. Well, besides the all-league teams, which we'll go briefly through, but you guys heard most of them. So congratulations to Luka on taking home the Titan League MVP for him and the Krakens. They're three-time now MVP of the Titan League, so big ups to him. And with that being said, I'm going to run quickly through these all-league teams. Basically, first team all-league, and then second team all-league. And we heard about the honorable mentions. It might be slightly different, but so let's go through it. So first team all-novice, we have actually, where is this? Oh, okay. This is all right. This is good. All right, let's make it sure. So first team all novice here, we got Icarus, MB Outcast, Mr. Silent. First team all prospect, we have Alex, Slays, Midnight. First team all challenger, we have Cottony, Isaac, Kratos. First team all rival, we have iTrash, Larry, and Mayo. First team all titan was Arrow, Duckworth, and Luca. And then the second team all novice. So these are, the first team is essentially the best three players. The second team essentially, 4 through 6, if you want to think of it that way. Second team all novice, you get Isaac, Chad, Jeff Masters, Rooney. Second team all prospect is Dr. Waffles, Jatron, and Puggles. Second team all challenger is Ibonic, Mirrorly, and Mr. Climax. Second team all rival is Nikalu, Vulcan, and Zap. And then second team all titan is One Tap Steph, Deluxe, and Mad Max. So that wraps up our accolades for the night. And guys, now we get to think about what's coming next. Normally when we do these previews, there's a lot about the off season coming up, but now we're kind of in the thick of things for season 8 here. And Psycho, things are going to start ramping up here. We got the combines starting tomorrow and Wednesday, and the drafts are this week, which seems kind of crazy. We got Friday and Saturday. Friday at 7. Challenge your rival in Titan. So Psycho, things are they're ramping up. They're ramping up a little bit.
They certainly are. I'm getting excited. I'm ready for these combines. So I'm going to be taking care of the novice and prospect teams over in the war room this season. So interested to see what kind of new faces we got out there and in both those leagues. And I'm ready to get back in there, even though I'm in the novice league. So womp womp.
Well, the novice boundaries did go up quite a bit, so things have shifted around a little bit. So maybe Psycho's going to run novice. But yeah, definitely. I don't know, but you never know. We'll see. Dan, what are you most excited for as we head into season 8? Obviously, draft's coming up. What are you looking forward to most?
All these trades that I'm doing. I made like 5 trades already. Like, geez. I'm just excited. I'm excited for the preseason of the season 8, but during the season, I'm interested to see the underdogs, the teams that we didn't really expect to go and pop off. I mean, granted, we don't know the teams yet, but it's always a good story to see, oh, this team we didn't even think about was going to be decent.
That's true. I mean, this last season, we had Pinnacle, the 7 seed, to make it to the grand finals. We had Distortion, the 7 seed, to make it to the grand finals. We had Challenger, the 7 seed, Bishops, make it to the grand finals. We had Prospect, the 7 seed, Minotaurs making the grand finals, and then, of course, Novice, we had the 10 seed win the grand finals. Obviously, Minotaurs won as well. Ignite winning in the Novice League. So we had some underdogs. Surely, we'll see if they're, I don't know how you top that. I mean, that's a crazy storyline. It seems to get crazy, but We'll have to see. We'll have to see. And Squirrel, let me throw it to you one last time. What are you looking forward to most in either the next weeks or coming up into season 8?
I'm interested to see how these boundaries end up working. This is probably from one season to the next. This was the biggest shift in our player base that we've had, and I'm interested to see how some of these players that got boosted are going to perform. I'm interested to see how some of these sandbagging Titans do in Rival League, and I think most importantly, I'm excited for this provisional league and what we have planned for them, and hopefully we can usher in a new wave of novices as we try to help those provisional guys out, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. And then yeah, we didn't talk about it too much, but yeah, now this is the first time since season 3 that we have added a new league to Nemesis. That was the novice league back then. Now the provisional league getting added. So yeah, things are getting crazy and provisional. There's going to be a lot of testing going on in provisional league with 3-man rosters. We got trial GMs here, I guess provisional GMs, or some people that we want to see how they perform. And a lot to be excited about with that. And with the drafts coming up this week, it's happening, guys. The drafts are happening this week already, Friday and Saturday, and then the regular season not that far off as well. I believe the 7th of November. So it's almost that time. It's almost that time. Congratulations again to everyone who won an award tonight. Make sure that if you're new, especially if you're below a mark player that's watching, Diamond 1 now is the minimum to sign up to Nemesis. The Provisional League, we bumped them down. We're trying to get those people in there into the Provisional League, give them a chance here, trying to open up Nemesis a little bit more to keep people around in those lower ranges. So we added the Provisional League. We opened up the bottom. So make sure to go fill out a PRF player registration form. Link is in the chat now. If you haven't already, go check that out. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for the award show tonight. Huge shout out again. Shout out to Cream for streaming this one on the night. Cream stepped up huge, setting all this stuff up for tonight and running the award show from behind the scenes. So huge shout out to Cream. Make sure you tell them how much you appreciate them. And yeah, shout out again to our amazing award show team. I mean, some insane videos. I mean, they put in the work this week. I mean, Critter, Glaze, Isaac, Squirrel, everyone else that helped out. I mean, go tell those guys we love you in the chat and say thank you for making the award show good. They put in a lot of work to get these videos. You may only see them for a little bit, but they put a lot of work to get them on the stream and help us out. So volunteering their time, we appreciate them. Make sure you guys go thank them for doing that. We obviously really appreciate them. And again, shout out to everyone for resubscribing. Shout out to everyone for following, which reminds me, follow if you haven't already. And yeah, that's it for the night, folks. We are back tomorrow, actually, with the Combines. More information on the Combines will be an announcement tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon or so. So stick around for that. But we got provisional, novice, prospect Combines coming your way tomorrow. So we're back on the main channel for those. So make sure you guys stick around for that. Make sure you guys follow. And we will see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you all for watching, and we'll talk to you guys later.